And a very good Saturday morning to you from Cheyenne, Wyoming. Good morning, everybody. Cowboy Girl Rosie in the chat today with Elvis Travels and some more big adventures last night, some more time in San Diego. Today will be our getaway day. Good morning, Marshall.
Good morning, everybody. It's a very humid day here in San Diego
Hi, Pam.
in Pacific Beach. Even though it's 70 degrees, the humidity is very uncomfortable here today. It's pretty uncomfortable.
Well, it's just the humidity's up today. Hey, Carlos, we've had the marine layer will be a little faster. I'll probably do my final beach day.
68% humidity, it says, pollen moderate, but it feels much more humid than other days. So
Yeah. So
yeah.
I was really beat last night. I came back got here about 12:15 to Pacific Beach. I was going to boondock down in, they call that North Park neighborhood down there, but for reasons I'll get into in a bit, that just didn't, that wasn't meant to be here today. Last night, let me take this off. It makes it hard to sit in the seat here. You're very big down there. Quinny, how are you? Nice to see you today. Night with Tara, it was very nice to meet her. And by the way, I now have confirmed that I have a dairy allergy now. So every time I take dairy, I'm like all goofed up in the morning and stuff. So I'm gonna have to cut over to non-dairy creamer now for my morning Joe. Hey, Bully, how you doing? On the bright side, recording is now joined up with the I need. So, well, I don't know. We had a good time last night at the club, at least for a few hours. We planned to meet Tara. I guess when did we get there, Marshall? About 9 o'clock? We get there?
Yeah, we got there about 9, 10 o'clock, and the crowd was building up, and it was a very interesting bar. It seemed like the regulars knew each other. Everybody seemed like they knew each other from what I gathered. And it was cool hanging out with Tara, talking to her a little bit, and she had to get up and leave pretty early because she works in the morning. And yeah, I just had an interesting conversation with Tara. We were just kind of talking about this area in California, and we just talked about Los Angeles and if I would like Los Angeles better than San Diego and Tijuana, and she predicted that I would like Tijuana and San Diego better. I'm very interested in checking out Los Angeles. Everybody's heard about it, and just to compare to see what's a better fit for me, what I would like to spend time in. So I'm very interested in spending at least a day or two in Los Angeles. And yeah, so I just put up a video on my channel on Elvis Travels. I was custom made last night.
Yep.
And my taupe suit all decked out, and you go there to watch it.
Best dressed guy in the club last night.
Yep, here's a picture right here.
There it is.
There it is, custom made,
ready
from
for
head
Wall
to
Street,
toe.
man.
Woo. Looking as only I can look.
He reminds me of the floor traders on the New York Stock Exchange. Kind of funny, but it was styled out. And give somebody credit for dressing up a little bit too.
And a lot of people told me when I dress up in my three-piece suits that I look like
we call them
Italian
power suits,
That I look like an Italian mobster. So
yeah,
I think I do have the mobster look, but. Anyways, it was a lot of fun, and we got to go to this place there, and check it out. And
parking. The neighborhood was a very it was called the SRO Club on 5th Street, and it was a scruffy area around there, and it was really weird. I took a break from the club, and I stepped outside for a minute, and a guy in a dark green Volvo station wagon, it's like he was going to pull over to the curb, but there was no place to park on the corner. It's a curb, so he just left his car in the middle of the intersection on the sub-block in one of the side streets, and he gets out of the car and he goes across the street and he face plants himself right in front, right down on the sidewalk, and just lays there right in front of the Sherwin-Williams paint store. Unbelievable. And the other thing is those planes are like right overhead, like 50 feet overhead. They're coming into the airport down there. So I don't know if I could live in that area.
And wasn't there a lot of bums and street?
A lot of it was a dicey area,
Dicey
for
area,
sure.
yeah.
Not Oakland dicey, but it was a hard scrabble
And
area.
wasn't that right outside of downtown San Diego?
Yeah, you just north of Hillcrest there, up on
Right.
the up in the North Park neighborhood. But it's colorful, which I kind of enjoy, but to a limit. I was gonna boondock there last night.
Actually, the residential area looks really nice. It actually looks expensive to live there.
Kim.
But the people that are on the street there, I don't know if there's a homeless shelter or what the deal is. Well, I don't know what they're doing there, but they're there and around that area.
They got his destruction.
So,
Anyway, it was it was kind of a tough neighborhood there. No, walking back to my van, I was thinking, oh, am I going to stay here and just sleep in this neighborhood? And I decided not to. Number one, it was very hilly,
yeah.
so to try to find a level spot would be difficult.
It'll be difficult, yeah.
And when I was walking back to the car, there were street sleepers and people kind of hailing me from the ground and saying, hey, you got a couple bucks? Or what are you doing tonight? Blah, blah, blah. And, it was just kind of gave me a queasy feeling. So I decided to
just move on, huh?
Move on. Drive the 6 miles to Pacific Beach, where I know the neighborhood is good, where I know that the boondocking is a breeze here with no issues whatsoever.
And the thing is, like you say, when you're doing this van travel thing, if you don't feel comfortable somewhere, just like Rosie didn't feel comfortable, just move the location and that's the beauty of the van life.
And that was it. So it was great to see Tara. That's probably going to be the last time I see Tara for quite a while. I'm not sure when we come back into the area if I'll see Tara. I might be able to get a beach day today. We've had this marine layer, but the humidity will drop down once these clouds finish burning off. I may be able to have one more beach day today, which might be nice, and then before we get back to the club, just basically the rest of the plan. I think you got laundry.
Well, yeah, I got to do laundry, and hopefully we'll make it into Mexicali tonight to hopefully spend some time there tonight and maybe a little bit tomorrow. We'll see. That I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, I'm glad, Kit and Kat. My World OKC, nice to see you.
Getting into Yuma Monday. I guess Monday morning, but
well, I'm hoping Sunday night, too.
Oh, Sunday night. Yeah, well, yeah, actually, we'll be getting into Yuma Sunday. So, I guess the good news is the temperatures are going to be a lot more tolerable.
I didn't really have that good time, Sandy, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Marshall's like, I'd like to see. What's the thing you always say? I want to see Rosie hanging with other.
Well, I got a review of that place too. I guess we'll do a review of that place. So Rosie, just a quick question for you about the van build. I know you took that that tape measure there at 6'3", 75 inches. And you kind of put it on the side of the van. You think that's doable to do that?
Yeah, it's just what you're going to have left for living area once that bed is put in. It's going to make the living area very small, which you may not mind there. So I never look dazed and confused. Let's see. Yeah, we hung with Tara. We had a good time. Anything can be made to fit.
Well, actually, when you measured it from the outside.
That's fine. I get an idea going up the side.
Yeah.
Because I used to have a camper van with the same build, so I know.
I think that this van is.
Anyway, I didn't feel like mucking around this morning with
Right. I just think that these Econoline vans are a lot longer than these newer Chevy vans. They have a little bit of extra length, and I think it's very doable. But I'm very excited about getting a real mattress in there. I was even thinking that I even actually have space to put a queen bed if I wanted. but I'm just very excited about the van build and especially the bed frame and getting a mattress in there. So just brainstorming things, thinking things over. But I wanted Rosie to look it over a little bit for me, but she's got beach day on her mind.
Well, I also got, I don't like to be thinking first, I don't like to have a measuring tape in my face first thing, first thing in the morning. I know you're excited. I'm not that excited about it. It's not it's not my band, so I'm just saying my priorities are to get something in my belly and get a cup of coffee, and you know, I mean,
if I was a project manager or a foreman of a construction site and Rosie was working for me, I'd probably terminate her after a week because she wouldn't be cooperating with the rules, you know. When Rosie has something in her mind, she gets fixated and focused on it. That's what I like about her. When we did the build for the box, we really thought it out, and she really did a good job putting it all together. But when Rosie's got something in her head, and when that beach is in her head, the beach day, that's all she's focused on. And that's what I like about Rosie. When she focuses on something, she really focuses on something.
So what's in my head? I waited 2 days with miserable overcast skies. It rained good last night, didn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty good rain.
I mean, it was really raining last night at about 1 o'clock. It was coming down.
Yeah, there was a good soaking, yeah.
Good sleeping weather. Cleaned the van up real good. What's on my mind is when you've had 2 days, you can't really do the beach. And today looks like it's going to be a good day.
Good
it's
beach
Saturday.
day, yeah.
It'll be a good crowd down there, so it should be fun. Because what's on my mind is I got to go back to, you know, another crossing into Mexico, another city to try to get a handle on.
Right.
We'll be there this evening and probably all day tomorrow exploring Mexicali, and then it's into Yuma, Arizona again, Los Algodones, and it's okay there. It's not the coolest place in the world. It's not the worst place in the world, but it is pretty high on the boring scale in there. And then to walk back to the streets of Algodones with the kind of aggressive guys on the street there.
I think that Algodones, the nightlife there on the weekends is a lot of fun. It's happening. I don't think you've experienced that. Also, the nightlife at the Crest Lounge there in downtown Yuma is good. Yeah, on the weekdays it is kind of boring, I have to admit. But you know, it is what it is. It is what you make out of it. I think for Rosie...
Thank you, Jilly.
I think for Rosie's definition, yes, Yuma overall is a boring place, especially if you're not going to go into a club and experience nightlife, and Rosie doesn't go into nightclubs. Rosie likes to do street chooching. So the place for her is Tijuana. You can't get better street chooching than Tijuana.
You can get better signal.
And as far as Los Angeles, I'm surprised that Rosie... I've always said this to Rosie before. I've said this before to you many times. That as a fan of Rosie O'Kelly, I'm a fan just like you guys. I've always wanted to see Rosie go into San Francisco and Los Angeles. And she really hasn't delivered on either of those. The only thing that she's really done in California for basically the past almost 5 years is come to San Diego and go to the beach. But this time around, I mean, you see all the great content she's made out of Tijuana. I'm not saying I'm taking credit for that, but I encouraged her to do something different. And now people are seeing a lot of different things. And that's what I wanted to see Rosie do for years, is to do something different. Go to Los Angeles, you know, San Francisco. And
let me get rid of this dickhead black here. All right,
I love Rosie's content like you guys. I'm a fan, but I've always wanted to see Rosie, as a fan, do something. I would like, everybody wants to see Rosie do something different, you know? And
well, this trip has certainly been different for me.
Yeah, so I can't wait to watch the Tijuana.
I'm actually more excited about going down to Rosarito Beach in Ensenada, when possible down there. That excites me a lot. New places to see. But as far as what you're able to bring on the streets of Tijuana, you got to be careful. By the way, that was not the cinematic video. That was just random night scenes that I captured. I still have not put together a night in Tijuana cinematic experience. I still have to work on that today. I'm backed up in a lot of content that still be delivered, restaurant reviews and other things that have to. You hey Vanessa, you naturally just start to get behind. Yeah, thumbs up are appreciated.
I'm looking forward. I actually have 2 friends that I made in the Yuma area that I met in Algodones, and these guys know a lot about Mexico. And I think hopefully maybe at least one of them, I told him about Rosie and how she wants to go into Mexico, and he's got some good information for her. I've also met somebody here in San Diego. There's a lot of good information that I want these people to share with Rosie about Mexico, so maybe she can consider checking out Ensenada and Rosarito Beach and maybe the rest of the Baja. But I also wanted to check out Los Angeles, and Rosie really for the past 5 years, like I said, she hasn't delivered on that. I've asked her for
I did
years,
cinematic videos on the trip with Missy Jenn, Grand Central Market, Angel's Flight, the elevator. I brought tons of content, live streams on the streets of LA. You just never saw it. You never bothered to check it as it comes through the feed. I probably did no less with Diane, meeting Diane C. and hanging out at this Sportsman's Lodge, the pool there, and going around and chooching in the area. Arch Deli there, the famous Jewish deli in Studio City. I crashed a bar mitzvah down there. All right, Max's bar mitzvah. I mean, I brought more content out of LA than anybody I ever saw at that particular time. First class.
How long ago was that?
Street Streams, that was March of 2018. Okay, now time to go back. Yeah, I mean, I can go back and see it again. It's an interesting place, but it's the kind of place you got to be prepared to spend a lot of time. Right. And I don't really sense it on this trip, to be honest, for me. Right. You know, now you have a big decision to make, which we know. And let's see, decision A is to finish up in Southern, get your teeth done. Right. And then head up to the Rancho. Right. Knowing that Las Vegas is ahead in mid-October, and that I can't really do anything on the van until after Halloween. Right. B is that you hang around the area down here, and you can continue to explore places like LA and the San Diego area. You are equipped to be a solo explorer. You've proven that over time. You're very happy with your own company. You're very happy out there doing your own thing, and once in a while ripping off a rant, and you know, you're happy doing your own thing. I
decided that I'm just gonna go ahead and drive up to the Rancho, and the reason being is there's a lot of
winter's coming.
It's nice that Rosie's with me on the road. There's a lot of grades, mountain grades, the grapevine that you have to go up over, and I never took this path with Lisa Marie. It's not the easiest ride. So I just want to make sure I get up there safely, and that's my priority. So I think I'm just going to head up on to the Santa Rosa area. Okay. And just take a little break from being off the road a little bit. Just take a little break and just check out Santa Rosa a little bit, see what's going on, and you know, I could always come back down here. But I think that as far as safety-wise and making sure I get there, because there are a lot of mountain grades, Rosie knows that, and I just want to make sure that I can get up there safely. That's my priority. So
yeah, so you can decide, because then it's a fast turnaround to Las Vegas up there. Now, Marshall doesn't like Las Vegas, let's face it. To him, he may like the Piranha Club, which was really cool. It was a great.
But I do want to check out the. You know, the Piranha Club was pretty cool. Yeah. You said there was a swinger club there.
Yeah, there's the Red Rooster, and then there's the Green Door.
Yeah, I like supporting and doing what Rosie does. In other words,
Well, I don't want him to get to Vegas and be like, you know, how does Marshall fill his days? I don't know. I know where I'll be poolside. We'll be hanging out with Line Screw. Got an invitation to go down to the Flamingo pool there, so I mean, I know what I'm going to do. But in the back of my mind, I'm kind of wondering about how many days it'll be till Marshall breaks into his rant, you know, and why I hate law. Well, he's not going to go street chooching with me. He may surprise me, but he's not into hoods and chooching down on Fremont and buying, having pop-up parties and all that stuff that I like to do, pop-up parties. Now, will I do that as a solo gal being down there? Probably not. You know, I don't have the Detroit Crusher with me now, and I can't expect Elvis to walk 5 or 6 miles. I'm in his back unless he gets a back brace or something like that.
I think what I would do if we're in downtown Fremont Street, I would just probably just hang around there and people watch. I do like people watching.
Oda May says he'd get you killed, Rosie.
there is entertainment there. Sometimes they have bands over there, I think on the weekend. But you know, that's the thing with Vegas. If you're not a gambler, and when we're talking about particularly Fremont Street, there's not many nightlife clubs over there, right? There's only a handful. So if you're not gambling in the casino, the nightlife is very limited. So what do you do? And Rosie fills her day as, like you say, daytime she's at the pool, and then nighttime she's walk chooching.
So I have to modify my things a bit, which is fine because change is good. I'm not saying I'm not averse to that. You know, how many times can you how many times can you hunt black widows at a cemetery, or risk your life to go into a homeless encampment, that mega homeless encampment? So it may force me out of my box a little bit, but I really don't want to be worried about blowback from Marshall because he doesn't like, you know.
Well, Lion Screw doesn't like that either, right? Lion Screw.
No, I don't know what he likes.
I personally don't think that Lion Screw would walk chooch with you in the hood. I don't.
No, I don't believe he would.
I don't think he would either. I mean, I don't think that he would, but he might shock me. I mean, you know, me and Lion Screw might go hood chooching with Rosie, but my thing is, I would go hood chooching with Rosie. I don't get nothing out of it.
I think I'll still do a night chooch, but I'm going to stick to like, you know, like the main street and head this time. I really want to get down to the strip and take the time.
Don't you have to watch the music issue with the music?
Well, for me, I'm not monetized.
Okay.
But I'm still getting plenty of support on PayPal, and I'm very grateful for that. So I don't really have to worry about copyright matches. The only thing you have to worry about is occasionally you're going to match like a Beach Boys tune or something like that. That's going to automatically block your content worldwide on that basis, or Hotel California, something like that. So
it's very awkward to walk on the strip because of all the cutoffs on the sidewalk, and walking into the casino and walking back is so much more simple to walk around Fremont Street.
Yeah, and it's good content down there, as long as you talk over the music. No, you can't do it, Nate. I have too many years of experience of almost 7 years of doing uploads and chooching.
How long are you going to be there, Rosie? Did you say how many days?
Yeah, I think he's lost some weight, the exercise. How many days? Yeah. I'm going to be there, going in on Saturday and Sunday and coming out Saturday. I'm not sure. It's like the 13th. It's like 6 days or something like that. So it's like six days down there. So that'll be I think that'll be a good time. Yeah, I got time to fill too. You know, Dee and I had a certain regimen that we ran. We'd like to do the morning hangout. Then occasionally we'll just do poolside hangouts and things. And then in the evening, we'd go over to the California and get the $9.99 prime rib dinner, which is an excellent value. And then chill out for a couple hours till the sun went down.
You had a routine going on.
Yeah, we had a routine, and then we would pick a way that we wanted to go out and do something at night. Let's see, Lavender, can you please just turn and tell him what you want to say, that he needs to stop, you know. He's fine, Lavender. I don't have any issues. He's not a buzzkill. I guess it's the way I was raised, and you know, with
what do you think
very talkative, loudmouth people.
What do you think Lion Screw enjoys in we haven't really talked a lot about Lion Screw. What is
styling at the Flamingo? Places like that.
Okay, so he enjoys having a drink.
What other things he enjoys? I don't know the guy well enough. You know, he spent some time on the Rancho, and we had a good time. But we came in the afternoon, and it was.
There's the camper van rental, Rosie. I just saw that. And they have a website, theautobarn.com or something like that. I made a video of it.
That's like my size, isn't it?
It's like a short, no, it's a short Chevrolet Express van with the top.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, yeah.
For rental. I wonder how
Rental.
much they charge you, Dave, for that.
I made a video of it. It's yeah, pretty cool,
Yeah.
huh? Travellersautobarn.com.
The devolution is high in Vegas. Yeah, I heard that's pretty expensive up there. Scott, short bras. And there was an awesome video of Lion Screw on the ranch. Yeah, it was a good video. Hey, dancing, Dawn, how
Rosie,
you doing?
a question about Lion Screw. You know, he's from Vancouver, and you know, I've watched his content, and Just Incredible, and a lot of those other guys from Vancouver and the van life. Has he ever talked to you about like the nomadic van life in Vancouver, or encouraged you to go
Nope.
up there and visit? Never.
No, he encouraged me to come up and visit him. I'm doing well, Andrew. Thank you. Are you sick of seeing that? No, I don't mind Hawaiian shirts. I have a lot of them. RV show in Delmore. Smile. I'm always smiling, Susie. First thing in the morning now, how smiley are you? Well, first thing in our morning. It's not really first thing in the morning. I've been up for about a couple of hours. So
I think it'd be cool to go to an RV show with Rosie. I think it'd be pretty cool. Is this guy a cop or a guard? What's the deal? Oh, I think this guy is the guy that writes tickets or something? No.
I'm not going to talk about the rooming arrangements in Las Vegas, Lindsay. I've learned over time that the less I disclose, the better.
Is
So
my van
I
cool
think
on
it's.
that?
I really think that that's my and Marshall's personal business.
Is my
about
van
what the-
cool on this? I don't think it is.
Yeah, you're fine. This is not a. This is a security guard.
This is a guard. Yeah, he's making his rounds. Yeah.
Yeah, I learned in 2019 to just disclose the things that I want to disclose. So I don't know what this guy's doing a video. I don't know. Oh, he's checking in. They have these posts hidden around that he flashes his QSR
His
reader up
QSR,
on
yeah.
it. Yeah. So
That's what it is. Yeah.
let's see. He just woke up morning. I hate the Quinny. It's fine. It doesn't bother me. Okay. I mean, let's see. Yeah, it's just certain things I'm not going to disclose anymore. So.
Is Lion Screw going to be staying at the Strip?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
So you
cool.
have to decide, Marshall. Like I said, the A choices come up north, and then
Well, yeah,
figure out what you're going to do. You're going to have to run your own itinerary up there. You're going to have to do some exploration. You're going to have to go check out Guerneville, the LGBTQ RSTUVWXYZ.
Is that in
family
Santa
town.
Rosa?
It's in Sonoma County.
How far is that from Santa
About
Rosa?
10 miles.
Yeah, I kind of want to get a little bit of lay of Rosie's area, the Santa Rosa, what this is all about, what's going on there, the pros and cons, that area. I want to like check it out, you know, a little bit, and I want to.
I don't feel like it's being disrespectful.
I want to
man.
figure out where I can go to get away from the homeless people in Santa Rosa.
I feel like I'm just engaging in a normal conversation with. I got the.
But Rosie, you want to do a
People
review?
would just say the same thing about when I would talk over Missy Jenn and
Right.
things, so I had to modify my.
You want to do a review on SRO?
Yeah, I
Let's
just
do it.
want to finish up with
Okay.
this because this is important.
Right.
This is going to be a real tripwire coming up here, because you can't take Marshall out of being Marshall. I don't want Marshall to come to the Rancho and feel like he's totally got to not be Marshall. Okay, that's not.
Right.
And I don't think he would ever do it anyway. And I don't think he could ever change being the person he is. And that's the franchise he's built on YouTube.
Right.
But I just want him to be aware that you're going into a city that was devastated by, at that time, the worst urban wildfire ever to consume a city in the United States. It's a city that's still flat on its back and hurting in a big way. Okay, you had people die, 40-some people die, and 6,000 homes burned down. It's not what it used to be up there. Okay, so knowing that, you go in with a mind to just check things out. There are a lot of restaurants. There's tons of little restaurants. There's a lot of niche places. There's cool stuff to see from a historical aspect. Now, you're not much into history and those type of things, so you have to figure out how you're gonna fill your time up there. Because I really want to enjoy the Halloween time and do all that. So what that means is you have to be very careful about getting a camper van. And like I said, we are in a densely populated urban area with tight little turns to get into driveways. But the way you whip that, you have to watch your tail swing out there and all that. But the way you whip that van around is no problem at all. But I want you to feel like you can go do solo, go do what you want to. If you want to go boondock in Guerneville and check it out, enjoy the club life up in Guerneville. It's a decent club life up there.
Right.
There's a million things, a million little communities. Much as you ragged on Petaluma, it's a great place to boondock there, and it's a cool little town. There's a lot of stuff to see up there. Good afternoon, Cassidy. Good afternoon.
So up there around your neck of the woods, Rosie, is it easier to urban camp on a public
Hey,
street
Smooth, how you doing, Mr. X?
or on private property?
You can
Up there.
boondock. The county loosened all restrictions after the fires and everything, especially the city of Santa Rosa. They don't, as long as you're not making a mess on the streets, you're allowed to park 72 hours on any city street. It's not a problem. Now what that means is he'll probably pretty quickly abandon the Rancho and go up to some of the finer, nicer neighborhoods to hang out in. But the Rancho is a secure property in the back. It's under lockdown, and with all of the security.
Well, one
things
area
we
that
have.
I was interested in checking out because of my Assyrian community, which is not too far away from you, is Modesto, Ceres, and Turlock area. How far is that from?
That's going to be about two and a half hours, I think.
Okay.
2.5 hours. I've never been over there before.
That's an area that I've been wanting to check out for a while. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of.
Pick up Janet and take her with you when she'll show you all the ins and outs of Modesto series and all that area down there.
Right. So
Let's see. Okay, hangout equals loitering in neighborhoods he doesn't belong. I can never figure out whether King of all things likes you or not, Marshall. He's one way on one chat.
so Rosie, what
Is
what,
he a fan of yours or what?
King of all things
Yeah.
is a fellow Assyrian. King of all things is the enforcer of the Wing Bull family, along with IRC Bully. King of all things is a real man, and let me tell all you
I
women
mean,
out there
I like the guy. I'm just saying.
I got
can
a lot
never
of-
tell. I get a mixed message.
I got a
on
lot
it.
of respect for that man.
Good
because
morning, monkey boy.
That man right there, I got a lot of respect for. He's a product of the streets of Chicago. He's a product of the nation of Assyria, and he's got
Hi,
He-
Chronic. Happy
and,
Saturday.
and he's got balls the size of grapefruits. Okay, that guy has paid the price and blood,
I
sweat,
don't
and
think so.
tears.
I think the guy talks a good game myself. I think he's like a street angel and a YouTube devil. When he's on the street, he's probably very mild mannered and doesn't.
Hey, bottom line is, if you jump on the king, you're jumping on the enforcer, and you don't want to jump on the enforcer because, believe me, he can really, really make an impression on you. So, Rosie, what's your review?
No, I
of
want to be clear about this,
Yeah.
and I'm putting this out in public so that they can bring it up to you later. If you go into complain and rant mode about stuff, that you got to figure out it's going into a new area. You're not used to being in an area and a county that is, it's the premier wine counties of America, Sonoma and Napa County out there. There's a certain lifestyle that goes with that.
I'd love to. I'd
It's
love
not
to.
a high-paced lifestyle.
I'd love
It's
to.
not pulsing nightclubs and
I'd love to see why Rosie decided to live there. I'd love to see the pros and cons about it, and I will come down hard on it because people know that I'm a critic. I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm going to say what I like about it, and I'm going to say what I don't like about it. And I'm interested to see out of all the... Rosie came all the way from Baltimore to Santa Rosa. Why did she pick this place out of the whole country? What's so good about this place? What are the good things about it? What are the bad things about it? I just want to see firsthand. And then I can give my opinion to Rosie about it. And like I said, I don't sugarcoat things. She knows that I'm critical. I'm a critic of everything. If there's anybody that bitches about anything, I bitch. I'm the biggest bitcher about things. So
you'll have to figure out how to fill your time, and if you choose to go to Vegas and other areas. I don't know. You might get up to the ranch. Say, I'm taking off I'm not going. I'm going to go to I'm gonna head up in when we get to the Central Valley and we get up to the turnoff for Modesto. You might say I'm going over to Modesto and Ceres and Turlock to hang out for a couple.
Well,
Now, I don't think it's fun to do that solo. I don't think that's fun, but you know.
I have been interested, yes, I have been interested to go to Modesto, Ceres, and Turlock because of the Assyrian community there. We have an Assyrian satellite station there. The guy that owns that organization, I wanted to meet him. There's a lot of things there that are Assyrian related that I've been wanting to see for years. So that might be an option, yeah, to go into Modesto and Rosie going up to the Rancho, and I could just spend my time there until.
Well, I have an incentive to get the van build done too, and to enjoy the holidays. And I'm now intrigued by the thought of going down to coming back to Southern California and going down to crossing over and driving into Mexico and heading down to Rosarita and Ensenada and maybe even further south and
San Felipe,
San Felipe, and maybe right on down to the tip of the peninsula down there.
Los Cabos.
Yeah. Let
me see how far Los Cabos is from here. What did you say? I think it was more than a.
I'm not sure.
All right, let me see here.
I've just I just love the fact that he's going to have to fill his own time and figure out.
I'm going to look up some interesting facts here. See how far we are from. How far do you think we're from Los Cabos right now, Rosie?
I don't know where Los Cabos is.
It's right at the tip of the Baja, right at the
I
end.
don't know. That's probably, 400, 500 miles.
Okay, let's see. I thought it was a long way down there,
Yeah.
so I'm looking up a hotel there.
The invite. Thank you very much, Johnny Wad. Thank you very much.
Actually, right now we are 1,065 miles away from Los Cabos.
Okay.
So that strip is over 1,000 miles.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how far I'd really go down on that.
So you see how far that is? It's a lot bigger than you think. It's actually about 1,100 miles.
21 hours, 22 hours drive time.
Right.
Down there, so. Let's see. Now I see Johnny Watt is a very nice person. He gave some nice tips for also for the future for going back to Tijuana. So it's weird that's my biggest fear is the blowback about I'm bored or I don't know what to do over here or all that. At which point I'll remind Marshall of sitting in the Walmart parking lots all day in Chicago, and
we're only 47 miles away from Rosarito Beach right now. That's nothing.
Yeah,
that's a hop, skip, and jump away. Very close.
Yeah. Yep, it's a cheap cab ride from down on the border. It's a cheap cab ride. What do you when do you plan on being in Florida? No, I'm not going to be there in November, Dina, unfortunately. I might be turning a little more of my attention down towards south into Mexico now, having a real taste of.
And Ensenada, we're actually 93 miles from Ensenada.
They said that they would charge, what was it,
$100, which is not bad, right?
$100 to do a 200-mile round trip to Ensenada.
That'd be a lot cheaper if you just drove there with, but I guess Rosarito is really close.
Yeah, it is.
It's really close, yeah.
Yeah.
And let me see.
Let's see. Oh, I think I'd definitely drive my car there. Breakfast coffee dude, but Rosie breakfast coffee dude proves everyone. Don't worry about. Well, I'm not gonna, but he'll be in Marshall, being on Marshall. He's always gonna be Marshall. But he will undoubtedly, like his nephew had an opinion about Santa Rosa in Sonoma County when he was a truck driver. He came through and he told Marshall it's all in. It's an don't interrupt me. He said it was an industrial wasteland up there. And then when Narce actually came and spent 4 or 5 days with, he's like, "Oh, hi, Rosie, this is like heaven out here. This is so wonderful. This is such a cool area to be, in other words, I don't know if somebody from Chicago and Little Rock, Arkansas can shift gears to a California lifestyle. I don't know. It remains to be seen. You know, but one thing I'm not going to ask him to do is to, you know, to be somebody he's not. Just be yourself. But I'm just saying, keep an open mind about things that are going on. Now, what were you telling?
I said San Felipe is 252 miles from
Yeah.
here, and you just go right down. So, I think, yeah, I think this going into the Baja here is very interesting to see what it's got to offer. And I'm glad that I opened Rosie's mind up to it. Like she said, hey, Rosie's gonna be Rosie. Like she said, D-Dubs, the Detroit Crusher, Hood Choochin, you know. But now I brought a different flavor to Rosie's channel.
And it's been fun. I'm not going to, you know, when I will defend Marshall when I think it's defensible, and I won't defend him when I don't think it's defensible. And I'm saying it has been fun to travel with him. I enjoy watching I like to watch his videos to see what his spin is on stuff that he records and see what he thinks about.
I just feel that I feel positive about encouraging and motivating Rosie to travel to new places and do content that she's never done before. Let's face it, she hasn't been to Tijuana, she hasn't been to Algodones. Now we're going to
I've been to
Mexicali,
Tijuana, but just not like that.
but not really made content and stuff. And if we do go to Los Angeles, I want to see more of the nightlife. Rosie's more of a daytime person. She's a beach person. She does the touristy stuff, you know. But so Rosie, I was going to ask you, because I wanted to get my review.
See, I don't know if my beach day may have just disappeared here.
Oh, really?
Look at this.
The marine layers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So and I want to give my review. What was your complete review of the SRO Lounge?
All right, I guess we can get back to that now, because I kind of put it out there, my expectations about you coming up to, you know, your decision to make.
Right.
You know, then you got a C choice. You can just turn right, going up the I-5 and head into Turlock, Modesto, and spend some time there. And eventually, you know, late October, head up to the Rancho. It's about a 2.5 to 3 hour drive to get up there.
Is it pretty flat from there?
Yeah, once you get over the Altamont Pass, it's all flat in the Central Valley. Yeah, so.
That's probably what I'll most likely do.
Thank you, Chrissy. Appreciate that. Stop with telling us all. Did you have fun at Rosie's? We didn't go to my place. I don't have a.
I'm interested to hear Rosie's complete review from top to bottom.
I don't like to go to. Well, let's just back it up a little bit. I know what's going to happen when I go in. You know, I know what's going to happen when I go in. And it's just like, you got a lot of girls, they're having a good time. There's dressers there. There's trans gals there. And it's all, you know, it's like a show thing. Okay.
Right.
So I went in on the counterpoint. I had my cowboy hat on. I had this top on. I had my, pinned together Daisy Dukes on, and I was going to be the counterpoint to all that last night. And I'm going to tell you, I got more attention in that club than a lot of those gals that are styling and profiling, because I look friendly and I don't look like I'm spent 5 hours getting ready in front of a mirror.
Right.
Okay, now that's not to take anything away from them. It was simply a test on my part to see if you could go in looking like a Texas rag doll and still have a good time at the club, which I kind of did. You know, Tara is very happy. Tara's a dresser, so she wants to push herself into environments to get out of her comfort zone of home. She wants to be out there and see if she can, hey Holly, how you doing, sweetheart? To see if she can feel comfortable and confident.
Yeah.
And every time she goes out with me and with us, her confidence level builds, and she feels good. She feels
as a dresser.
So I was happy to go on her behalf. Now, when we got to the club, it was about 9. I told you, you know, it takes about an hour and a half or so to really get popping, and
That's
it really
what Rosie
started.
said, and it really started. Yeah,
yeah, it
Rosie
really
was
started
right.
getting popping. The people were very nice, but I'm not the kind of person, you know. I'm kind of, as Marshall says, I'm single-minded about who I enjoy meeting these days, and it's not the club for me. And I'm not interested in meeting really another trans gal. I'm not really interested in meeting a dresser.
Right.
I'm interested in meeting a nice, nice genetic woman. That's no secret in there.
Right.
So, going in, I thought the bartender was a little snooty. He was a little not real friendly guy, and that just sets the tone for a bar.
Wasn't a friendly.
Not a friendly guy. If a bartender is not a friendly guy in a club, then it kind of sets the tone.
Now, one thing I just wanted to chime in on.
Did you notice that?
Yeah,
He was just,
yeah.
stone face.
Exactly. One thing I want to chime in, though, is that you said that you're not attracted to trans girls and dressers, but you've publicly said that you're attracted to Sammy Jacks. And Sammy Jacks, I can't tell if she's a genetic woman or not.
Well, that's a good thing then.
She could be a trans girl, but I don't know. I can't really.
I'm attracted to the whole package of Sammy. I love her dry humor.
Right.
I love the way she presents herself.
But you did say if Sammy was a transgender female or a crossdresser or whatever she is, I can't tell, to be honest with you. You said that you still would be attracted to her.
Yeah, she's an attractive person. But I don't seek it out. You know, if it happens to be, it is. And I respect everybody. And I respected the fun that the people were having in a club.
So the bartender
I don't know what the phenomena is. I go in with my tennis shoes on. I'm having a good time. You know, guys are coming up, which is fine. They're very nice guys.
Right.
But I never feel, I'm more of a tomboy type, you know, and I feel these girls are coming in with 6-inch wedges and Johnny Chew spiked heels, and there's some of them that are like 6 feet 3 inches tall, 6 feet 5 in heels, and I feel like
some of them were just in blue jeans, some of them were dressed.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I just feel like whoa, you know, I never quite made this aspect of. I guess I failed. You know.
Well, I guess I
failed.
The one that came in that was unusually tall was just a cross-dresser, and she wasn't passable at all.
I wasn't checking. You know what I mean?
She looked like a basketball player.
I wasn't doing a pants check and everything like that. I'm just saying, but it was typical. And if Marshall sees the Vegas Lounge in Las Vegas, he'll see the same sort of phenomena down there. Now. Yeah. Were the people nice? Yes. Were they smiling a lot? Yes. Did they have a good time? Yes, they did. But it's, you know, I don't like to go to a bar where every guy's the first words out of his mouth, you know, says, "Oh, you really have beautiful eyes." Or are you working tonight? Are you working?
Well,
and I'm not into clubs like that. I'm into he'll tell you, I like the All-American boy club, the baseball cats turn backward. We're cheering for the you know, the Padres or whatever down here, and chicks are bouncy.
I want to say this though. One thing that Rosie predicted a couple things that were right about this club. We got there about 9:30, 10.
Yeah, I did. I had a good time, Holly.
And she said about in an hour or so it was going to start building up and popping, and then it did. And then another thing that Rosie predicted that was true, not only about Tijuana but about this club. She said, "Marshall, I'm cock blocking you." And when I was in Tijuana and I had just whatever crossdresser was talking to me, crossdresser asked me right away, "Do you and her want to have a three-way?" And I'm like, no, that's just my friend. They all think that Rosie was probably my wife or girlfriend or whatever.
Cock block.
And when I was in the club,
I'm the ultimate cock block.
When Rosie and Tara left the SRO club, I had 3 or 4 of these trans
Yeah, I'm
girls
sure this.
come and
Yeah.
sit right by me. And I guess a lot of people assume when somebody is with somebody, then they give you
Yeah,
your space.
they do.
So,
Whether it's in Mexico or whether it is.
I don't believe that Rosie on purpose cock blocked me. It's just just the way it is. When you're with someone, whether a woman, a transgender, and you're at a public place, it just looks like, hey, this is your
What
date
it
for the
is.
night.
Now
So
you're not going to horn in on that, whether you're in Mexico or whether
wherever, exactly. So that's what happened there.
So I knew that the experience would probably change for you, but
Right.
at midnight, Tara had to leave about 11:30, and we said goodbye to her because she had some work today.
Right.
And I love Tara. She's one of my dearest friends in life, and she had a good time down there. She wrote me today. Thank you, Rose. She was just effusive. Thank you, so much for, getting me to a club like that. I felt so comfortable in that environment, and I had a great time. That to me was the big payoff from last night with Tara.
Yep.
At about midnight, after having been out in Tijuana till 3 a.m. Friday morning, and then getting back, by the time you get to bed, it's 4 o'clock in the morning in the van, and then getting up about 7:30. Cumulatively, it starts to take a toll. So by midnight last night, I was ready to punch the ticket, and I thought Marshall would be a little, but he was cool. Okay, go ahead, and because I said the whole dynamic of the club would change once I split
exactly.
the club.
And
so,
it did.
The club is very small.
Right.
There's a pool table in the middle of what floor space is available, which I think is a huge mistake. You should have more of
a dance floor, right?
Little small dance floor.
And the seating is not comfortable, right?
Seating is
it's
all
terrible.
hard.
Stools.
Stools and all that kind of stuff. So, typical club like I've been into a lot of times. So, like I said, a bartender will set the tone, and if he's got a nasty attitude,
I don't think he was nasty. He was more just stone faced, poker face.
I think he was a guy that was just doing it for a job, and I could, hear him kind of talking about some of the gals that came in, and not in such a nice way in there. And I thought, well, this guy's just doing a job.
Well, I think some of them cause problems in there.
Well,
they get into fights and stuff like that. Somebody almost got into a fight last night between the two T-girls.
Yeah.
And they almost got thrown out, so.
I mean, you bring alcohol into it. So I was glad I left at midnight.
Right.
I was going to park on the streets, but, there are guys laying on the streets there. And, hey, how you doing, baby? What are you doing tonight? It's probably more than you're doing,
So,
I decided to move and come back to Pacific Beach for safety. I couldn't boondoggle.
My questions to you about your review is that I agree with a lot of the stuff that you said on the review, but my question is, how do you compare SRO Lounge to the Vegas Lounge? Comparing them both.
They're about the same. I mean, the same experience.
Okay.
The guys come up, they ask if you're working, they'll give you a compliment, and then they ask if you're working.
Right.
That, I feel, is a more appropriate club to ask somebody who may be attractive, and I know beauty queen, but that's a more club where I would expect in Las Vegas for guys to come up and ask if you're working
girl, right?
And can I get your digits and all that kind of This club, I thought, was more like a Cheers, like the show Cheers.
Okay.
Like everybody knows your name, you go in there. But where you have trans gals and dressers, it's a fact of life. You're going to have appreciators of that, and they're going to seek those clubs out, and they want to meet that kind of gal. They want to meet a gal like me. They want to meet a gal like Tara, a dresser. And so I can't really fault them, for wanting to, but the assumption to be working in that neighborhood, I thought, okay, well, I'm a newbie here. I don't know. It must be what it's known for. So, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Missy Jenn, how you doing, sweetheart?
You would say,
Missy Jenn, good morning.
Oh, hey, Missy Jenn, good morning. So basically what you're saying is these type of clubs that are geared towards transgender or cross-dressers, that they all had the same theme pretty much.
Yeah,
just
and I thought
across
you were
the
going to
board.
just nail it on the head. So many of the people that come uh, just come to want to do a hookup, whether they got to
Right,
pay or not. And whereas I like the kind of club scene where there's no expectations of hookup. You just get a
right,
table. You might dance a little bit. There'll be sports bar, TVs on and all that kind of stuff.
right.
That way you have no pressure, and if somebody comes up and talks to you and be friendly. But that's not the environment where somebody's going to come up and ask, "Are you working
Right.
tonight?" Or because the implication of that is you work every night, and you're just maybe taking the night off.
Is
Thank
the
you.
is so these type of lounges in Los Angeles, have you had any experience with a similar type of lounge?
Hey JK, there's a Sky Bar Lounge, and I would be a bit more dressed up in LA.
Right.
Now I'm really curious if we come back down south to Mexico and do that journey.
Hmm.
I would definitely take some time in LA on the way down, and
Oh man.
I would bring my big gear. You bring the big guns down to see what that would be like in an LA club. But you guys know what I mean. You can't assume in a San Diego neighborhood that everybody walks in the door as a working
Yeah.
girl. But it must be the way the guys are trained in that area that's where you go
Well,
to.
I'd like to give my brief review of the SRO lounge. You walk in, it's a very small place. The neighborhood is actually not that bad.
Hey Elvis.
It's an expensive area to live in. It's outside of downtown San Diego, but there are a lot of transients and bums outside that you have to be aware of. You walk in.
Let me just interject for a minute. Okay. I never, I never in my life saw somebody pull up a car, block one side of the intersection almost completely, get out, walk across the street, and just face plant himself down on the sidewalk in front of the Sherwin-Williams,
Right.
and just proceed to I don't know whether he went to sleep or he just passed out, but his car was blocking 3/4 of one of the entries to the intersection, and it was the darndest thing I ever saw. It was a scruffy neighborhood. So the guy just did a face plant, and about 15 minutes later, somebody else came and drove off in the car. I don't know whether the guy looked like a hood
And
rat.
was this
It looked like a hood rat.
Was
just
this
jumped in.
neighborhood North Park? Let me just see
Yeah,
if
North Park.
was it okay.
All right, we'll continue with your review.
Yeah, so my review, you walk into SRO Lounge, and if you walk in early, there's not much of a crowd. You might see one or two girls with a couple of guys at the bar. And then as it gets later on in the night, the crowd starts to build up. It's a very small place. You can probably only fit maybe, 40, 50 people in there, tops. So you walk in and you realize that a lot of these people are regulars, that the girls and the guys pretty much all know each other. And a lot of these girls come in groups of 3 or 4, and they all know each other, and they're just sitting there hanging out and all that. And you'll see the guys kissing the girls on the cheek and hugging them and saying hello. It just seems like everybody knows each other. Like, this is a bar where tourists don't go. This is definitely where the locals go. And
yes, and I never did the girl on girl.
and when I thought when you're coming in as a new person, it's kind of awkward because
Take care, JK.
you're coming in like I was sitting on a table and here's 4 girls around me, and it's kind of awkward because if you talk to one of them, then the other ones will hear what you're saying to their girlfriend. So it's a little bit awkward because now you're in a group conversation, and I didn't feel comfortable with that. When I want to talk to somebody, I want it to be mano a mano, one-on-one. And when you're in Tijuana, you can just go up to any girl and talk to her, and with this situation, you're talking to one person and 3 other person can hear you, and I think that's kind of awkward. Then you're in a group conversation. But everybody pretty much knows each other. It's where the regulars go. The bartenders were not mean by any stretch of the imagination, but they weren't very. They didn't really have that much customer service skills as far
I
as
didn't think they made people feel welcome.
made people feel welcome in there. Yeah. Some of the people that were in there, I mean, I could have struck up a conversation with actually some of the guys that were there. They seemed to be more engaging than the girls. The girls seemed to be all about business. And like I said, if you're not there to talk to them about business or buy them a drink, then they're just not interested. It is a unique type of environment. I enjoy the lounge type of environment,
Papa Grizz.
as opposed to.
If I miss anybody on the side chat, I apologize.
But in a nutshell, the seating was not comfortable. There was some very uncomfortable stools there. I did not like the seating. I couldn't sit down for much, so I did not like the seating. That was one thing that I hated about the place. Having a pool table in the back in a transgender lounge is useless. They should at least make it into a little dance floor or put some couches there for people to sit down and lounge around. It just doesn't make sense having a pool table. This isn't a sports bar. Having a pool table in a lounge, it just doesn't mix and jive.
Let me just interrupt it. Jay said, how was food vendors in Tijuana? Excellent. I hope you check out the video.
I hope.
Excellent.
I hope
Okay.
that I can check out more of these transgendered lounges in Los Angeles, so I can rate and see what's the best. I know this is the only one, as far as I know, in San Diego. It is unique for what it is, but I always want to go to the best establishment. I always want to see what the best is to compare. And Rosie knows that I'm a critic of all things, you know. And so, one thing I just got to say is that it just seems like maybe if you go there more on a regular basis, you can kind of get to know the girls and the people, and people will be a little bit more engaging towards you, and kind of you know. But it's very hard to break into that, to break the ice when you're new and nobody knows who you are. And you know, and like I said, you talk to one person, you talk to one girl, and the other girls can overhear what you're saying, and now you're going to be judged upon how you treat that girl or talk to that girl, which I think is very awkward. I didn't feel that I was free in there. I kind of felt like a prisoner, and I felt more comfortable just being out in the streets of Tijuana, or just more open in Tijuana. So, but I want to check more of these places out. So this was a little preview. So I just got to say that it was fun to hang out with Rosie and Tara in there. I think the environment definitely changed when they left, because they all realized that I was an eligible bachelor. But now I just want to say, since we got peak viewership, I have a video on my channel where I was custom made from head to toe last night, not in my silver gray suit, but in my taupe suit here.
I hear you.
And I have a little video here.
Good point.
One last thing I want to say is I made a video with Tara last night, but the audio didn't go through, so I can't put that up. I'm sorry about that, Tara, but the audio didn't go
William.
through. But I was looking as only I can look. Take a look at that. Hold on, it's a reflection here. Let me do it. Let me do it. I got it.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. I was custom made from head to toe, looking as only I can look in that taupe suit. So eat your hearts out, drama queens, drama girls, because if you want to see the best looking, best dressed nomad in the world, that's how I was looking last night. That's how you dress right there. Take a look at that. Custom made from head to toe. So yeah, it was interesting. Rosie, isn't it kind of interesting to check different places out, to do reviews, to compare them?
Yeah, it is. It is.
You know, kind of like food reviews, but just to.
It is. For me, it's like cheap beer, and like Tijuana was fun because I could go down.
And one last thing I want to say is, I think that, and I'm going to probably start doing this, if I start writing Yelp reviews and Google reviews, and I let people know that, hey, I'm a YouTuber, Yelper, and a Google reviewer, a lot of places will respect you. They'll actually give you free things. Sometimes you get free food. They'll let you videotape their establishment because they know that you're an online reviewer, and they take it seriously. A lot of business take that seriously, and to do that, you know, to be a reviewer and critic. of things. So, yeah.
So continuing with the review, I'm curious about once I left, because I tell you, I would have stayed longer, but I was dog tired after.
Well, the funny thing
T1.
is, once you
I
left,
would have stayed longer.
there was a couple of girls that came and sat by me, and they all kind of, they'll sit there and play with their hair and do their thing, and they're drinking, and they won't really be aggressive.
Yeah, they're
and come
hoping
up to
you'll talk to
They're
them.
hoping I'm going to talk to them, and break the ice. And I had talked to to one of them, and I said, "Where are you from?" She looked Puerto Rican, and she looked very passable. And she's like, "I'm from Dubai." I'm like, "Oh, you're Arabic?" She's like, "Yeah, cool, I'm Arabic." And then I'm like, "Well, what is it that you're looking for?" And then she said, "Well, I need $200." And now let me say
I'm
this:
a $200.
$200. Now, $200 in the United States of America.
I'm a $200 model, baby.
For an escort, let me tell you something. $200 is not that expensive. There's a lot of girls that are charging $300, $400, $500. Now, you go into Tijuana, the price is 4 or 5 times cheaper. You can get a girl for 40, 50, 60 bucks in Tijuana. So, just like Tara said one thing last night that's 100% true. And I agree with her, Tara. She said that Las Vegas is a playground for rich people. And it is. People who go to Vegas spend a lot of money on the hotels, at the casinos, and they'll spend a lot of money on escorts. So if you got a lot of money and money's no object, then Vegas is the place. But if you're on a limited budget and you really want to enjoy good food, good nightlife, beautiful girls, and really get the bang for your buck, going to Tijuana is a no-brainer. And in fact, even if I was a millionaire, even if I was just rich, I would still go to Tijuana over Vegas, because let me tell you something, the nightlife over there, and the girls appreciate American men and respect American men much more than American girls. And that's why I've said, ever since I stepped into the country of Mexico, I'm on my way to Mexican citizenship. I'm on my way to being a full-time resident of Mexico, and I'm going to be a dual citizen. But I've also said that I am even considering that I would never date or have a relationship with a regular woman or escort in the United States, because it's so much better in Mexico. The women appreciate American men. They're beautiful. You can find whatever you want over there. If you're into T-girls, if you're into guys, whatever you're into. The bottom line is that you get a better bang for your buck. You have a better time. And I'll take Mexico. I'll take Tijuana over all of the United States. And that's just a part of international travel. Rosie's an international traveler. She's married to a Chinese lady. She speaks Chinese. She lived in China. Why not broaden her horizons? Why not get out of this Las Vegas and Sin City and start seeing the world? It's a big world,
Well, I worked 46 years. I can't just put in gear and just head off. Or maybe I'll go to Cincinnati tomorrow and see you in 2 weeks. Now it's a different story.
Yeah. So,
now it is a different story.
Rosie needs to broaden her horizons as an international traveler.
To me, Tijuana looks like a throwback to the era of women and men in the 1950s, before women's liberation. Although women are feisty, there's some very feisty women down there. By and large, it just reminds me of society in the 1950s and early 60s down there. Like the women have their role, but you're only seeing Tijuana. You're only seeing a small part of Zona Norte, which is the tourist area.
Right.
Now, 95% of Tijuana you won't see, because it's outside of those. There's the hard scrabble life.
Right.
Where women are working hard and men are working hard to make ends meet up there. So, in other words, don't get the idea in Mexico that what you see in
Is the whole thing of the country.
is the whole thing in the
No,
country,
yeah.
because it's not.
Right.
You know, most of the women in Mexico, they ain't entertainers. You know.
Oh yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? They're hardworking. They're hardworking people.
Just like anywhere else. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, it's like going to Disneyland and saying, "Oh, America's great. I'm going to move here now because this was such a good experience." You know, they're not relatable in that
Right.
way. Well, I'm just saying. So anyway,
But as long
that's
as
the way I feel about it.
my opinion is Rosie is a Californian. She's a transplant from Baltimore. She's a Californian. She's right now a Californian. She's invested in real estate in California. She lived in California. Now, how can you be a Californian and not explore the Baja of California? Not go into Mexico. All these years she's been here. Well, now she's retired. This is her golden years. And like I said, as much as she loves Sin City and Vegas, Mexico has a lot more to offer.
It's
got-
good. I'm looking forward to it.
So,
I would definitely, you know, having been down to Florida and everything, in Largo and Tampa and that area, Clearwater. Yeah, I think I'm a lot more intrigued by the Baja area. Vegas. Well, I don't. You know, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna have to shift gears in Vegas this time. Probably more solo type of chooching and stuff like that, which means I have to up my safety game. I'm not going to go do a pop-up
I
party
think a West Coast trip, just going off the West Coast from Vancouver, British Columbia, all the way down to Los Cabos, that whole strip is so cool. Where you could just see
Cobra
Washington, Oregon, California, LA, San Diego, and all the way down to the Baja. That would be an epic driving chooch. And the West Coast has so much to offer. I love this part of the country. It's my favorite part of the country. I think Rosie's prediction of me liking California was true. Yes, I do like California, but I think she underestimated Mexico. And that's where she underestimated that. I actually like Mexico. I like California and the South.
I want to modify that. You like Tijuana.
I like Tijuana.
Okay.
Right.
Now, it's like, to me, like in China, I loved Shanghai. Okay, it's a cosmopolitan. It's like the Paris.
Right.
It's like the Paris of the Far East. It's
Right.
a wild town. But that doesn't define
The whole country.
what China is. You
Right.
go outside of Shanghai, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, you know. And then you're
Right.
in the real hard scrabble. There's
Right.
nothing enjoyable out
Enjoyable
there.
about it, right.
There's nothing enjoyable. It's like any country. The big cities are where the action happens, but when you leave the big cities, you're at in a whole nother world. Now, that's 95% of the well, in China's case, about 90%
Right.
is not defined by cities. You know, Chongqing and
Right.
Sichuan province and all those, Xinjiang and all around there. So, what you're saying is you want to move to an area like Tijuana and or the Baja and enjoy the Baja Peninsula first and foremost,
Right.
and then see how you like the
Yeah.
life down.
And the thing is, what I wanted to say was, Rosie did say, oh, if Marshall comes to California, he's going to love California. Now, partly she's right. I love the desert Southwest because I got a taste of Mexico from Algodones. And obviously the weather is nice in the wintertime. Everybody knows that. And you know, obviously the Mexican nightlife and border towns are cool. I got a taste of an Algodones, and then I saw the ultimate in Tijuana. And so, yes, Rosie was partly right. I do like California. I think she underestimated that I would like the desert Southwest. I kind of do like the desert Southwest in a lot of aspects, but Mexico is a big country, and I think, yeah, there are hard scrabble everyday cities, but there's also big cities. And you know, if you go into Mexico City, there's going to be a nightlife.
or
You know,
Guadalajara,
or anywhere else.
Yeah.
So I just think that Algodones gave me a taste of it, gave me a preview of what it's like. Just like SRO Lounge probably gave me a preview of what the transgender lounges are like in San Francisco or Los Angeles. Just getting an education. But I think that me liking Mexico caught Rosie off guard. I think that she thought originally that I would just like California and forget about Mexico. But I do like California, but I like Tijuana. I like Mexico better. So, and
Well, I
it's just
wouldn't burn your U.S. passport yet. I would always go someplace, spend a year, and then see how you really
right.
like it.
So
Yeah, another place like Mexicali. I've gotten like today we're gonna take off we're gonna make a stop along the way, get cleaned up, and then take off for Mexicali and an adventure over there. I think tonight we're going into
yeah.
Mexicali.
Tonight we should be going. Yeah.
And then I don't know what the border situation is. I don't know, but just to stop there and then head out, find a town to someplace to boondock for the night, go back into Mexicali for a full day tomorrow, and tomorrow night take off for Yuma and be ready to be staged for the big event, which is extractions and everything else on Monday. So
well, that'll come towards the end, but
yeah.
So Rosie, like in a nutshell, I know you mentioned California a lot because you like California. Everybody knows you love California, but are you surprised how much I like Mexico? Does it catch you off guard?
Because Mexico, you went into a man's world in Tijuana, which is geared for the pleasures of men.
Right.
They did have a male review club, but it wasn't really anybody in there per se. A couple gals in there.
Right.
But it's all set up for the pleasures of men, and for
right.
that reason, I think that you enjoyed that the novelty of it, and the way
right.
There was sex for the taking if you wanted it on the street, and the food was cheap, and the beer was cheap, and
right.
the nightlife was good, and the people were friendly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I knew that you would like that type of environment because it's like me. You like very colorful things. You like
right.
things in life that have a lot of depth to them. A lot of
right.
You don't just like me. You don't want to just scratch the surface on Mexico. Now you want to go deep.
Deep, exactly.
Deep,
like you did with China. Like you know so much about China for years, and you know.
So I'm not surprised.
Right.
I think that's why we shared the similarities in travel, is because we do like the very colorful. We don't want to set up camping chairs and look at the mountains.
Roast hot dogs and marshmallows.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
it's just we're
urban explorers.
Urban explorers.
We're not rural people.
And in that way, and I found a kindred spirit in Marshall, because I love doing that stuff. It's not that I dislike camping or being out in the wilderness. My threshold of boredom is too low in that environment, and I just go nuts.
After, yeah.
I'd just be like, now what? So I want to be in an urban environment with lots and lots of stuff to do. So I think Tijuana
is the ultimate,
as a gateway. Now, if you'd gone down to say Mazatlan or Acapulco or in its heyday, then you would have a total beach experience feel with that, like the nightlife of Rosarita Beach. You'd have it'd be like an oceanfront resort. It'd be like Florida. Okay, maybe
which I hate, which I cannot stand. No, I like beachfront.
Now,
but
your idea of Mexico would have been shaped differently, right? Had you started in say San Felipe or something, your idea of Mexico might have been totally changed.
Well, that's what I noticed, is that the tourists, there's all different kinds of tourism in Mexico. Medical tourism, adult tourism. You have to find the city that suits you. But I think that all of them are unique in their own way. They have different things to offer. Mexicali is supposed to be known more as a real full city in Mexico, like a complete city, where there's all types of city services and organizations and things, doctors, medical. So I'm very, very excited about checking Mexicali out. But like you said,
I mean, somebody's asking, why is the van low on your side? Because we're pitched into a curb. For drainage, they always have the streets with a slight hump, so that's his side is down on the low side. I was in Mexico City years ago. With my English, I was nothing. I'm not quite sure what that means. I'm doing good.
I just think if Rosie mimicked or copied her experiences of what she did in China and kind of do it in Mexico, because Mexico is pretty much the closest country to us, basically. And I think it's more interesting than Canada. So why not explore Mexico? She's explored China.
I'm signing up for it.
And
it's cool.
and so
It's cool.
so
that's it. So I think we're going to go ahead. Mexicali is in the works today. I know Marshall's looking forward to it. I hope he takes some time while he's doing his laundry today to do a little research on the things to do. I don't like to just hit a town cold and boom, and then you're just wondering what's
not knowing where.
up.
Well, that's how it is when you go into these towns. It's very confusing because you don't know what's where. It's quite confusing. So
anyway, I'm looking forward to Mexicali. It'll be the fourth border town that we have encountered in the Arizona, California area. I'm actually excited. I hope there's some good food to try there. It's a big city. It's about 800,000 people, but then again, Tijuana is a million people in there. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to him getting his teeth wrapped up once and for all. I'm sure you're looking forward to an end to that too.
I'm looking forward to sort of an end for it, and I'll be going to Algodones more in the future because
more medical,
getting crowns done, and it's a great place. And like I said, I'm just glad that we're both experiencing Mexico for the first time around, because I'm new to this, and then Rosie's new to this, and I just think that Rosie lives in a cool part of the country. In my opinion, if I were to live here, I would want to be down more. It would have to be Los Angeles or San Diego. I don't think that I would ever go live north of Los Angeles or San Diego. Or and I haven't really been able to form my opinion on Los Angeles because I haven't been there. But I'm just very curious to see what I like it better than San Diego or not. But
best thing about Mexico is the food, I would say. You see, if you go in as a lady or you go in as trans, third gender, as I hold myself out to be, it's not going to have the appeal it does to a guy that goes into Tijuana.
Lastly, what I wanted to say,
that's by design. So
lastly, what I wanted to say was Rosie's prediction and Tara's prediction last night. I asked them a question. I said, do you think I'm going to like Los Angeles better than the San Diego, Tijuana area? And they both said no. They said that I would like San Diego and Tijuana better. That's very interesting to get their perspective on that. But it'd be interesting. So that's all.
LA's changed a lot, and not for the better.
Right.
Liberal government is allowed to store this the city to start to destroy itself
crumble
from the inside.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, that's for another trip. So thanks so much for watching today, everybody, and good to have you aboard. And I guess I will see you next in Mexicali. All right, thanks,
guys.
everybody.
Have a good day. Woo.